Welcome to the Sweet Potato Pirate Podcast, Episode 2.
Hello. Welcome back. We got a bit of a different setup this time. We got a red mic. Got a bunch of wires. Jesus Christ.
Got wires everywhere. It's a little chaotic here, but hey, we're going. Episode 2.
You have your Google Doc open? Because I'm still downloading the drive.
Yeah, I got my Google Doc open. So we thought that it would be a good way to start the podcast is if we start a new tradition this round, that every podcast begins with a poem. So I'm ready when you are to read the poem. You ready to hear a poem, group?
Is this us right here?
Yeah.
Sick.
Or do you want to read it?
Is it on this page?
Oh. Yeah.
This is it? Oh, shit. You read it.
Okay. It's called Basho's Pond. It's by this it's a haiku, but it's not a haiku in English. It's a haiku in Japanese. But I'm gonna read it in English because I don't speak Japanese.
Yeah.
So here it goes. Old pond. Frog leaping. Splash. What's your reaction?
That was good. I just thought it was funny when he said splash. Yes. I can hear him this time.
Basho's Pond. Yeah. Now we're getting over a few hurdles. So one of the hurdles was last podcast. I think nobody could hear the sound effects. So now we can at least kind of tell what's going on with the sound effects. So we can have as many of them as we want.
And hopefully the sound is better because last time it sounded like we were in a cathedral or something. It was very
we had the echo up. Wait. We had the echo up.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Oh, no, we don't need that.
Hello.
Turn that down. How does this work? Like, am I actually on there?
Yeah. It's like the audio comes in there.
Is it all just one file?
And then it just goes into there.
We're just figuring this shit out. Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
So this way we get like echo. We can do whatever effects.
All right, cool.
Gunshots. Whatever. We got everything now.
All right, word. What's the first topic then? I got a few topics too that I.
The first is the art. So, the big art news right now is other than me working on my art and just working on drawings and Cream working on his little art, not little, but art. Kareem's got a show coming up this Friday, September 16th. It's at Edge Gallery, so come through, everybody. 7, or it's I think it's like 6 to 9, usually is what it is, but there's going to be booze and food and cheese and all that stuff that everybody likes. So come through and have a good time.
Yeah, come through. And the day after that, we're doing My Culture, My Rules pop-up event. It's going to be a bunch of like different artists and sellers and people just hanging out, music. My homie Zayd is going to DJ. Yeah, so
it's gonna be
Saturday the 17th. It's at the what's it called again? Vision
Quest Brewery.
Vision Quest Brewery.
It's a nice brewery. They got some good food trucks.
The trucks are fire food. Yeah.
They got a stripper pole in there.
Yep. They got a bathroom, but then there's also a secret bathroom there.
Yeah,
so it's cool.
They both have a normal bathroom and a secret bathroom. So it's it's just the perfect recipe for a hootenanny of a time.
Yeah, pull up. We should be posting stuff about that too.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any other things in the topic of art?
Oh, yeah. I mean, today I got into Pokemon pack opening.
Oh, no.
I'm not a Pokemon person, but
yeah, one of our roommates, shout out to Morgan, he's in the Boulder collection.
They're super pretty. Like, the cards are, like, look at this shit.
That is pretty sick.
It's in a secure little... Hey, hold on. Look at this one. Look at this. This is my favorite one right here. It's Fat Pikachu.
Oh, that's so funny. It looks like major.
I don't know. I mean, I just think this is art right here. I don't know. Don't you
it's
think?
definitely his art.
It's fire. Like, I don't know about selling and all that stuff, but...
It's like commercial art, right? It's like you can have like a brand and a game and all that stuff.
He looks like a dick. You see that?
Yeah, no, Sudowoodo is that's a goat right there. That's one of my favorite Pokemons.
But yeah, I mean, it's not much to say about that. It's just, I thought it was cool. Maybe, there's an aspect to it that's like the bins. I mean, if you're digging enough. then you can maybe make some money, but that's a long shot. Especially if you're a noob like me. I don't know. It's like too late to get in the game. Which is kind of
Yeah, there's plenty of people already in that game.
That's
too.
a big barrier of entry.
True.
The bins doesn't have that though. If you go to the bins, it doesn't matter who you are. You can find heat anytime. It doesn't matter. Like you can find old stuff, new stuff.
We had a good haul from the bins this last week, didn't we?
Oh yeah, we should talk about the bins honestly.
Yeah, no, that's a good time. For those who don't know, we're talking about the Goodwill bins. They have them in Denver, and you can just show up and sort through. Pretty much, you're sorting through a bunch of discarded, soiled trousers and things like that.
I mean, not always. It's a lot of trash, but there's some treasure in there.
No, yeah. So sometimes it's like panning for gold in a way because you don't know. You never know. You might just get a bunch of like weird stuff, or like you might get some really fucking cool, retro, like vintage kind of very valuable clothing.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the barrier to entry there is way slimmer than Pokemon. But it is getting too popular too at the same time. Like you go to the bins, it's like going to Six Flags back in the day. It's like everybody's there. It's like crowded as hell.
Crowded.
I bet once the hype dies down.
There's a bunch of TikTok kids last time. There's all these TikTok kids running around.
I mean, yeah,
they're doing TikTok dances in the bins. I never saw anything
They pull up in
like
their
it.
Teslas.
They're pulling up in the Teslas and doing TikTok dances. It's the darndest thing.
But no, it's a real hustle. It's a good way to like, what's the word? It's a good
side hustle.
Yeah, but there's another word I'm thinking of. It's a good supplement to income.
Supplement? That's a word.
Yeah, I don't know. Forget it. I
You
don't know
got it.
But yeah, no, the bins are fire.
Heck yeah. The bins are fire. What else?
The bins is your way into like, I feel like one day, speaking of art, I'm like flipping clothes right now, right? So maybe I go to the bins, start flipping books. Finding old, valuable books, and then go from the book game, make some decent money so you can invest in some art. The next thing you know, you're collecting art. And it all begins, I sound like Gary V. That NFT swindler dude.
Right, but
it's true. You can go from flipping soiled pants to flipping art. It's been done before. It's possible. So yeah, the bins is a real hustle.
Stay hustling.
You can become you can be really out here, yo. You can be a real connoisseur. For pennies on the dollar.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true for the books, especially. I got a whole bunch of books.
Here.
What, my mug? That thing?
The fire mug.
We'll get that next time.
Yeah. You just never know what you're going to find.
No. Yeah, I found a whole, like, personal collection. It was, like, the library of William von Truce or something. I can't remember what. But it had this crazy-looking skeleton under the cover. So it just gives you the feeling, when you're a kid. And it's, like, everything's an adventure. That's how it feels at the bins. It's like magic. Like you feel like
wear off. I don't know. It hasn't worn off for me. I
don't know why I spent 8
hours doing it.
Yeah, it's like that feeling is still there. There's not much else.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's not
half
that
the fun
glamorous.
is finding new. It's like maybe it's just old dopamine release, but like finding stuff you didn't expect. Like I remember I found like an old maybe like 50s, 60s like nuclear survey radar. Like
that's so crazy.
If there was like a radiation around, you can use this instrument. There was no batteries in it, but it was like pretty good shape, and I was just gonna buy it for nothing. But I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? So I threw it back. But somebody would just have that in their house.
That's a valuable find right there.
It's a good decoration.
In case there's any.
If there's radiation around, you can see.
There's always some radiation. That's true. You gotta be careful of the radiation.
I mean, there's radiation in everything, probably, right?
I don't know.
At some level?
I think there is at some level, right? Because there's a whole. Isn't there something called like the background microwave radiation or something? The background microwaves?
I don't know. I don't know anything about the electromagnetic spectrum much. I know that at the subtle level, there's probably a little radiation there, but I don't know if.
Yeah, we're probably just talking shit right now. We don't really
I'm definitely talking shit. I don't know what I'm talking about. But having too much of anything, especially when it's even at that level of micro level, is too much. It can be bad. So I think this is about like having isolates. So like there's radiation and everything, but if you have an oversaturation of it in a certain place, that's when it's a problem. Just like carbon, too much carbon, too much oxygen, you get poisoned.
Mm-hmm.
Too much lead, mercury.
Too much major?
No, you can't. No, not major.
What if we had like 100 majors? That'd be absurd. This is the beginning of becoming a cat lady.
There's remember that old guy I used to visit? I saw images of him recently.
Oh, really?
He looks like an older Major.
It's true. I think they're
So
so
maybe
similar.
he died and came back.
It's his resurrection.
And then he was like, "Those guys are so cool. They used to feed me. They used to give me all those treats." And then he came back. Oh my God! Do you remember when we used to give you treats before you passed?
In your past life.
We got a lot of neighbor cats.
Yeah, there's a big kind of scary looking panther that's always trying to eat Major. It's quite the life Major lives if you think about it. It's like he just hangs out. He's this cat Major.
He's pretty robust.
No, he's pretty robust. He's got like a penchant for beer too. Like he's a big fan of hitting some
He likes to
like
sniff
beverages.
the froth off the
Yeah,
top.
he got some froth yesterday.
No, I mean, I think he can handle himself outside. The only issue is he's so small, the birds might get him.
I don't think. Well, they
I
say
feel
it's
that
just
he
not
can take
good
his
for
own
the.
on the ground. I know we're not saying he should go outside, but
Yeah.
just hypothetically, if he was out there, I think he can whack any animal on the ground. I think it's the birds the biggest problem. Because what is he going to do when he gets picked up by the owl? You know, like he's so small.
True. He's pretty light. Like you could definitely just
But,
get carried away.
If he's just on the ground, I think he can slap it up, or at least
Smack him around.
he can take some hits and run.
Yeah, he's also like pretty sneaky. Like he's got that sneaky factor.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, anything else for art?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm working on I got my art show coming February 17th, so that's my art show that it's coming in a while. But if you want, mark the dates already. It's going to be pretty exciting.
That's right. Was it the 16th?
February
Art show.
17th.
And then you're February 17th.
Oh, yeah.
And then My Culture, My Rules, Saturday.
There's definitely going to be lots more stuff, too, like coming up. Sweet Potato Pirates, we're going to get a booth one of these days.
Oh, yeah, Vision Quest, too. Oh, yeah.
Sweet Potato Pirates.
All right, well.
Maybe we should break into the Sweet Potato Pirates to let the audience know, because they're probably, there's probably a whole bunch of kids
Can we
at
actually
home.
talk about sweet potatoes for a second?
Yeah, let's go. Let's start with sweet potatoes, but then I also want to talk about like how we became like the Sweet Potato Pirates. Like I think that might be something interesting to the people.
Definitely.
the people at home.
This is going to work perfectly, I feel like.
Okay.
Because...
Do you want to start with the sweet potato
We should
history
talk about
then?
how we chose it, because
Okay.
I learned all this fact afterwards, so I feel like in terms of chronology... So go ahead, tell it.
All right. So the origin of the Sweet Potato Pirates is well, it's two. I feel like it's twofold,
I
right?
never really thought about the big origin story.
I think it's two directions because I mean I used to have the podcast Sorry I'm an Asshole back in the day, and young Kareem came on, and he was telling me about One Piece. We were talking about like the best shows, and I was like, oh, Dark Crystal, Age of Resistance, which got canceled after only one season by Netflix.
Is that
Boo.
who was on that show? That was
Boo.
what's that guy's name?
No, that's not the Dark Crystal.
That's not that show. Okay,
That's a different
that
show.
was the creepy one.
That's the creepy one.
The
yeah.
animal one.
I think it's
the
really.
animals were, like,
I think it captures
smashing.
like the archetypes, like the idea of
See,
archetypes the best.
I'm not a fan of animal-headed things.
Okay, well then that makes sense. But
I don't know what it is about animal-headed anything. Like it freaks me the fuck out. I mean, the only time
Midnight Gospel by Doug Contrassel also got canceled after only one season, and it was.
It's because
This is why.
It's because he used he should have just a regular show. Like it was a good story, but the fact that they used the recording podcast style, it made it kind of corny.
I don't know though. I feel like it was still good. Like I feel like it was a
Really?
good recipe.
I don't
Yeah.
know. They were just rambling at certain points. Like I felt like the amount of talking with that it didn't go with anime. Like they should have just done a show or at least cut up the.
Or I liked it better because I kind of like the casual vibe of it. You know, like a little bit like
What do they call it? Midnight Madness.
Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel. I'm not hating on the show. I just think that's what took me out of it. It was the way they did this.
I mean, fair enough.
It just felt like it wasn't engaging for me. Just some of it just came off a little rambly, where they could have made it like I've seen like The Last Airbender make similar deep points like that by just showing you.
But I kind of
And
like the
rarely
idea
it's
of it's like
telling.
it kind of breaks the fourth wall constantly by like having
Yeah.
going in and having podcasts and stuff. But I think it's
Yeah.
cool to have a show about like podcasting, even if it's not
Yeah, I
even
like
if
that
it's
idea.
not even if it wasn't actually just people in his podcast. Like, I think that was a cool idea.
I like the idea of that. I just think that
But they did cancel it so fast. I feel like this is why.
they should try again with a different kind of concept behind
Yeah,
it.
maybe. Or they could have tried like maybe not.
The character should
Season
be
2 like isn't as
Oh.
much.
Do you ever watch? No offense, I don't want to make this a Joe Rogan experience, but Joe Rogan used to have some clips animated, like it was just animation of his show.
Yeah.
And it like was so like funny to watch, and it was just like little segments out of the
Did
show.
you ever watch like the Ricky Gervais show? I feel like that was the original of that.
I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if
Well, it was because it was like a whole show like kind of done by HBO.
Yeah.
And like they would take like the Ricky Gervais show was just a radio show, right? So it'd just be like Ricky Gervais, Carl Pilkington, and like Stephen Merchant, like all talking, and then like Carl Pilkington.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that. I've never like got into it deeply, but I've definitely
used to like it a lot, but I don't know. I kind of grew out of it when I graduated middle school.
But I think that is a potential.
But that was from way back. I think that was from way back.
They should do more like
they
should animate the actual podcast.
Yeah.
Like the actual talking, like they can have the in between bits where like they're doing crazy shit, and then they get in the studio, and then they can play the podcast bit. I don't know, like.
I'm a big fan of animation.
People love to watch long form content nowadays, so that idea of them just kind of playing off that. I feel like there's been other animation, like, but it's very crudely done. But
yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
It's like it's so big budget. It's funny because it's like, or I kind of like what I kind of love about it is it's like, if you take a podcast and you animate it, like the podcast is kind of low, or it doesn't take much to record an hour of content on a podcast. All it requires is a few fellas, a few microphones, and just flapping some gums, But for animation, that takes like, for 1 hour of animation, that's like 100 hours of work, maybe more. Like that's a long time of work just to get that animation perfect, So that's
it's impressive.
Yeah.
What's what boggles me about being an artist is like I'll spend a lot of time on one image, like a lot of time, and then there are these artists, especially in animation, like forget like digital like Pixar kind of stuff, but like even hand drawn like anime or Studio Ghibli type of stuff, but they're doing each panel by hand. That's when I'm like, what the hell am I doing? It's like they're doing whole worlds. Like it's super realized. It feels so like tangible, and it's all hand drawn. Sounds great. The music is fire. The voice acting is crazy. It's like it makes me kind of like, whoa, like as this is taking it to such a new level that an image simply on a canvas is not gonna hit the same anymore because those Studio Ghibli movies are crazy. Like.
I really think that like animation is one of the highest forms of media right now. Like, for sure. I mean, it takes a lot of people to do it. Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah, but it's really like the effects are amazing. Hold on, let's get back on track though. What were we talking about? We were talking about the origin of Sweet Potato Pirates. And okay, what happened was that it was so. Then I was like, oh yeah. Dark Crystal Age of Resistance. That's a real good show.
I don't remember this.
And you were like, no, One Piece is a good TV show. So then I started watching like One Piece and I got into it and stuff. And like like the whole feeling I feel like of pirates and piracy and stuff like that. And like also just the aesthetic and kind of I think what Luffy represents as far as like following your dreams and things like that and just like the meaning like of being a pirate in that regard.
Yeah.
And then we moved in together and
Not like we get married or something.
well.
We moved in together.
We moved
after
into
8
the same
months.
house.
There was only one piece. That was the uniting factor. Yeah. Yes.
But no, it's true. We did move in together, and then
we moved to the TikTok house.
And we have like
together.
the flag.
This is the TikTok
we'll show
house.
you the flag. It's like a TikTok house, but it's like a pirate ship kind of. Like the house kind of just feels like a pirate ship because it has all these levels and it's kind of thin and it's tall like a pirate ship.
Yeah, it feels very much as a pirate ship. Major loves this house.
Yeah. Major loves the house.
He's already knocked out. Damn.
So then we were like, okay, I don't know why we made the flag. Do you remember what gave us the idea?
If you're gonna have the idea at first wasn't anything like concrete. It was just like if you're gonna have a semi-pirate crew, you need a Jolly Roger flag.
True.
So that was our Jolly Roger.
Yeah, so we were like, okay, let's give this Jolly Roger flag.
It wasn't even about podcasting at the time.
Yeah. No, it was nothing to do with podcasting.
We just wanted it to be like One Piece.
But then it's like, okay, if we're gonna do, Well, so we did the flag way before we came up with the name Sweet Potato Pirates.
Yeah.
But then but then I think that the reason why we had the flag was because it's like, yeah, it's like, okay, that just represents us. And then we were like, okay, well, what is the name of the pirate crew? It's like Sweet Potato Pirates. That's because I was like obsessed with sweet potato pie.
Mm-hmm.
I still am. I always cook it. And so then it's like, okay, great. Is it really
Plus,
easy?
the word it's got a nice sound to it.
Yeah,
Like
sweet potato
pie,
pie.
you know,
Ritz.
it works. Yeah.
It was kind of a good play on words. So that's the origin of the Sweet Potato Pirates name.
But speaking of sweet potatoes, I was learning this week about how crazy the history of that shit is. It's like, and it's not like concrete or definitive, and I'm not a historian. I just learned it like as a student of history. But essentially, like, I read about how the Polynesians were fueled by sweet potatoes in their kind of expansion out in the Pacific, and one of the groups that kind of colonized the Easter Islands, eventually got a high population on that island, which led them to building all those massive Moa statues. So that level of art and culture was fueled essentially by sweet potatoes.
The power of sweet
Deadass.
potatoes.
And they don't know to this day if those sweet potatoes came from South America or if the Polynesians brought it from somewhere else or if it was indigenous. But they know that was a staple crop they used because it was hard to fish. It's like an island is so isolated in like the Pacific that around it is not much shallow coral or water anywhere. I'm like losing my voice right now. So it gave them the chance to like have something to kind of give them a solid population to build these. I mean, there's many nuances to this, so. But I thought that was cool, like sweet potato.
That is really cool.
It's like a pretty lit plant.
And it's interesting to think about too. Yeah, like that civilization back in the day. Raising the high seas. Those are original sweet potato pirates, I guess, right? They were like building giant stone heads.
That's what I'm saying. They were out there. They had their own micro world right there, but I don't want to say Micronesia, but like all of Polynesia and Micronesia, like the level of intermixing. Like they went all the way to Madagascar, all the way over to Hawaii, and even maybe South America. If they can go that far, why can't they go to South America?
Yeah, well, I think that their culture there's a lot of evidence to suggest they did go to South America.
At least with maybe the Incan empires, on the coast over there, but I don't see why that's not plausible. But yeah.
I believe it.
I guess this is a history, yes. We can go right into history.
Yeah,
right?
History.
Yeah.
Do you have any other topics for history? The main one that we were asking about is last time we talked about like modern day piracy. And there's like, there's a fuck ton of modern day piracy. It's in every ocean you can think of, even like Indonesia. It seems like one thing I noticed about modern day piracy is it seems like it kind of like
modern like today?
Yeah. Like today.
I don't know much about modern piracy.
It's like it kind of goes a lot like around like the shipping lanes and like when it's like they get like there's like kind of like a narrow gap that they have to get through. Like so like in Indonesia there's like a big amount of piracy.
On the Suez Canal, maybe? Panama Canal?
Maybe not the Suez Canal.
There are some tight squeezes, though, yo.
Yeah. I think that's just, like, too tight, though. Cause
they're
it's
too
like
tight.
That's
controlled,
It's controlled by, like, a
But
government.
the Red Sea is pretty crazy with pirates,
yeah,
too,
the Red Sea's, I think, is one.
Pirates and the Indian
Somalis.
Ocean. The Indian Ocean used to be hot with pirates back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, it was a mix with traders and raiders and British Navy and all. Like, it was popping back in the day.
Oh, the British.
That was the golden age of piracy.
Oh, speaking of British, we skipped over this news article.
What happened?
Lizzie's in a box, in a box. Lizzie's in a box.
Yeah.
It's true. The Queen of England is dead.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Give back all the art you stole from Africa, please. Especially the very expensive diamonds.
Yeah,
I don't know where you got them from, but I know that you took them, so we can just give it back, right? Like,
she could just give it back.
The war is won. You've done your conquest. It's over. Whatever. Give back our art. Give back art. Give back my crown.
Give it back.
Okay. Who's the next guy? Richard?
Charles.
Give back the art, please. I say this to all of Europe, Berlin, whatever they keep all the African art and arts from all over the world from indigenous people. Please give it back.
I think you
stole the land. You keep the land. Whatever. Give the art back at least, right?
Yeah, no, that's crazy.
That makes sense.
There's a lot of stolen art in what's it called? Belgium.
It's everywhere. It's in fucking Denver, I think.
Really? They got
I saw some
something?
crazy art. I'm like, why is this here? Like this should be in with the Dogon in Mali. Like this should be with the people. But it's
What?
not here.
How did they even get here? Did they get like?
I mean, it's
they
all
get
from
the
most
British
of
or
it is
something?
from colonization times. People took
Right.
they
Right.
took it as kind of like plunder. Like a lot of it can be, especially like West African Islamic kind of medieval times. Like they had so much gold, a lot of gold forged things. So like there's inherent value there besides just the artistic aspect. So they took it, and a lot of art. Let's be honest, a lot of the best stuff, like the tombs and shit, like all that's still stolen. Because if you're making stuff
Yeah.
out of gold, it's not about like, what's crazy to me is when you steal somebody's art and display it in a museum. That's like a different level. When you're stealing it and just selling it or breaking it down, melting it into its parts, then you're just trying to get rich. It is what it is. But if you have it in a museum, like if we're really a global society, I feel like in
Right,
order
you should put
for
it
good
back.
posterity, like we're not living in a time where everybody is like, somebody's just in backwater and there's these people who just need to like protect these profound pieces of art from old, like, we can protect it ourselves. Like there's an idea that Africa can't hold on to their art because it'll just get lost, destroyed, or sold. But no, it's been proven that there's numerous spots where they will protect and house your art.
Right. Well, that's. I
You
feel
know?
like that's just kind of like
Ethiopians
racist.
we've been
too,
protecting the Ark of the Covenant for thousands of years.
True,
Nobody's seen it, yo. Nobody can see that. Nobody's
I don't
been going
even
in
want
there.
to see it. I saw it happen in Indiana Jones.
I mean, Indiana Jones lied to you. They said the Ark was somewhere else. I think they put it in Egypt.
No, I don't know where they put it, but like,
I don't think they put it in Ethiopia. Wait,
They had the,
which is one of the stories.
but I just remember the Ark of the Covenant opened, and then there's all those ghosts, in the game coming, and it melted those fellas' faces off.
Yeah,
You remember that?
I blocked a lot of Indiana. I blocked a lot of Indiana Jones out. No offense to Indiana Jones. I'm a MacGyver guy though.
You're MacGyver.
MacGyver was my stuff. Like I remember the first show I ever watched ever. Even when I got satellite TV in Ethiopia, like Mr. Bean for the funny shit, and then MacGyver for the
Mr.
action.
Bean is good. Shout out to
man.
Ron Atkinson. That's probably one of the greatest shows of all time. I say.
It's like Mr. Bean and SpongeBob are like up there, like
True.
the funniest shows of all time. I feel like.
That and Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yes, top 3. I feel like. For me, I don't know.
Curb Your Enthusiasm just is so funny.
Curb,
Like
SpongeBob, Mr. Bean.
Curb, Sponge,
That's the
Mr.
solid.
Bean.
That's the 3 best comedies. I feel like. Yeah.
Curb,
what else
Sponge,
could you
and Bean.
possibly put there?
I don't know. Impractical
One Piece
Jokers.
is pretty mad funny, but One
True.
Piece is the best thing ever.
One Piece is like.
This is the best.
I think
anything.
that's why. Like the only reason. I guess, like some people say, Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones are better series than One Piece. But I disagree. I think that One Piece is a better series than both of those. But like I think the only thing is like that gets people off is it has a lot of episodes and it's not afraid to be goofy. And
That's
I feel
the best part. I love how
but I
so
think
many
that
episodes. Like
yeah.
those people are just like it creates a barrier of entry, which I
Yeah.
kind of appreciate because I don't want everybody to.
I also think that like
to be
it's
on
like
it.
it's a turnoff for like there's a certain type of movie fan.
Turns off the normies.
There's a certain type of movie fan. Okay, tell me I'm wrong. There's a certain type of movie fan that's like what they consider like a good movie is like one that's like, oh,
The
look how
hoi polloi?
cool he is. Like,
You mean the hoi polloi movie fan? Like,
what does that even mean?
The average
Hoi polloi?
The average moviegoer is just there for the glisten.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
wanna
It's like
see-
The Godfather isn't that good of
wanna
a
see
movie,
the
but
jawline.
it's like all like the everybody's like dad is like, oh, this is the
I
best
mean,
movie of all time.
it's
Because they
how-
want to because they think that watching that movie is gonna make them a gangster.
Oh, you talking about something else? I'm talking about like just averagely just raw consuming with no reflection. Like how I used to watch movies back in the day was just eyeballs. Like there was no like crunching of any numbers happening. Like it was just revisiting stuff is what blows my mind because then I'm like, whoa, son. Like I
see what you
watched
mean.
this and I was just like.
Yeah, you
not
have to have the right-
understanding
you have to-
like
you have
all
to-
the
you have to be
layers
able to
of
connect the
stuff, and
dots.
the best shit from back in the day has all the layers like
True,
hidden
true.
for all the audiences, which is fun to break down. I feel like
Definitely.
I feel like I need more water. Anyway, no, it's okay. I'm gonna go grab a little bit after this. Where are we going? with the
Anyways,
history? Where are we
no,
with
we're
history?
talking
'Cause I
about
have
One
more
Piece.
points. One Piece, yeah. Okay, it's the best thing ever, and I've read Game of Thrones and watched the show, which is really good. Like like I look at it from world building angle. Like who has the richest, most engaging world, that somebody can get lost in. And I know when I was younger, I was always looking to get lost in worlds because of various reasons about my world. Not that I was trying to escape, but like as a kid, you really feel like limited in this
No, I
world,
felt
so
that, for sure.
you want to go somewhere else. So it had nothing to do with not liking here, but like I remember what Lord of the Rings was kind of boring to me at first. Harry Potter kind of boring to me at first. Game of Thrones was when I was like, damn, this shit's fire. And then Dune, crazy. Like world super rich, especially first 6 books, and it feels like a real place in the future. Like it feels like somebody took time to really timeline and outline what a potential reality can be in the future with certain added components like AI or whatever. And then One Piece does all that, and it just feels like the world and the character just has like, it's almost like you know, Big Mom can like breathe like life into like random objects.
Yeah.
The whole show just feels like somebody blew that into the whole
Yeah,
show.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
every even the mini side characters are like there's nothing like left just like randomly repeated. It's just like always crazy, weird, bizarre, and it makes my brain just
Yeah.
like.
And I
super
think that
open and
also
creative.
it's like the thing that's most satisfying about One Piece is that it's like there's such a long show, but at the same time it actually builds towards something. There's like a feeling of mystery and of revelation, you know, and
Yeah,
all
yeah.
this kind of crazy stuff. And like I think a lot of shows, like for example, well, just to stick with anime, like and this isn't to talk smack. I know that everyone is big fans of Goku, but like Dragon Ball Z and stuff like that, like that's a very formulaic show, right? It's very formulaic. It's like
I mean, it was the first to do that.
no,
Formula.
it's not
One of
bad.
the first. One of the
It's
first.
not bad, but like if a new arc of Dragon Ball Z comes out, you know what exactly what's going to happen. There's going to
Yeah.
be a scary villain that's introduced. Everyone's going to lose. Goku's going to almost lose. Then he's going to be like, "But what if I have this new power up?" You know, and then yeah, right. And that's just like kind of the
Kind of like
rigmarole
hero's journey type
of classic stuff. It's like not even yeah.
It's like a shonen arc.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like the
it's like
classic kind of arc, and
classic
it's
shonen
very,
arc.
very, and so like it's kind of cool to see, you know, just the art and like the dynamics of that, like a show like that. But then One Piece, I think, what
You better go and do not disturb.
yeah, I gotta go on do not disturb. But yeah, One Piece is like I think that there's this element of just mystery and just craziness, like while you're watching it, like it's just so. Like I think yeah, the feeling of adventure is there. Like the feeling of the world, like the world building, like it feels like such a big open world where anything could happen. And whoa, what's this? Who's that?
And it's huge. Like
Yeah.
there's so many characters that you're bound to find somebody that you super resonate with. For everybody, not just like male teenage boys. It's like anybody, even older people. Like I bet you,
Yeah.
if I'm like a big, fat, old kind of like grandma lady, and I'm always cooking, and you know I'm always like I have all my grandkids around. Even then, I feel like I can get into One Piece because they're represented and like they're strong and they're very valuable characters. So you'll find the weirdest, like ugliest characters become like super lovable, like characters that might at first be like kind of despicable or tasteless.
True,
Even like
true,
Usopp,
yeah.
like I remember Usopp a little bitch at first, like always
Yeah,
getting into little
but
fights.
I think he's one of the best
But
characters
like,
like I've ever
his
seen.
arc is crazy. It's like watching him grow is
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just fire. And now you look at him like completely different person.
Yeah.
Before he was just front, like he just wanted to be one of the guys.
Yeah, he's just fronting.
you know. And like the level of, I don't know, like mystical fantasy feel. It feels like so rich and real. Like I remember the
Yeah.
first time watching like the Skypiea arc and like the way they set that up. Like some of the best storytelling I've ever seen because even though they don't really show you anything, like just the way they set it up in the beginning, the way your imagination just kind of is like left to wonder in a way that's like, I've never had a show like leave me in that way. Like I remember when they're like coming up to the island, or the part where they like get sucked up or sucked down. I forgot how it goes, but there was a shadow reflection of like giant,
yeah.
huge people, and immediately I was like, "What the hell is that?" And like the only time I ever felt that was like when I was like super young, like reading fairy tales. Like,
Yeah.
Like wow, like
No, I feel that.
it like really fills you, and that was, I don't know, when I was a teenager. So and that's still there. But yeah,
Like the feeling. I think that one thing One Piece does well is it doesn't show you the right things. Like it's not like you never get like a world map and a definitive like location of this island's here, this is what's next. Like you never know. Like it's always I think a little bit vague.
I mean, the One Piece does have like one of the coolest maps. Like the
It
map
does.
doesn't make sense, but it has this weird like linear. It's like a linear map.
The map is so simple,
Yeah.
but like it tells you almost nothing about what's
And you can't
coming
go
next.
backwards. But it feels
Yeah,
like you can
yeah.
only go forward to get to like you can only go
Yeah,
forward. Or
it's
you
like
get
there's
swallowed
all
up.
of these rules for it, and so it's
Yeah.
like, and that I think just sets it up for an adventure, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like you can't really choose what's going to happen next. Who the heck knows?
And they break it up super lit. Like
Yeah.
the beginning is all like in the old world, and then they get into the Grand Line, and then they get into the new world, and all of it feels like the stakes they get higher and higher the closer you get to
Yeah.
the final bits. And I know the whole show is structured, so you have to like you're like wondering what the One Piece actually is. Do you ever sit down and like
Wonder what it is.
does that matter to you? Like if
Yeah,
it came
no,
out
it
it was
does.
nothing really, like would you give a shit?
I don't know. It depends
What
on
did it
how.
take away from the
depends
show?
on how it's done. I think. Like,
What if
it's
he
like-
literally said, "Psych, there's empty box. There's nothing in there," and Luffy just laughs. Luffy just like, ha, 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 at least we got here. Like that's
Yeah.
like
if
what
it,
if that
happened, and like I would have to go from feeling like if I get to the end of this show and that happens, then like that's all good. But like, as long as it doesn't like collapse and like if it ends as satisfying as it's been this whole time, like I'll be happy. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the thing I think that there's amazing is that like a lot of these TV shows like Lost or other shows, it just kind of feels like they
The hype is crazy though. Like,
Like
the
they-
amount of
yeah.
hype on what the One Piece is, like
and rightfully so. It's
I've
like
watched so many videos about like theorizing what it could be. Like it's crazy. Like people have so many theories. Like I don't want to spoil the show for people, but like that's what half the fun is. I feel like because the show is so rich in story building. Like everything has a connection. It's not like a bunch of what do you call it? Like retconning every time. Like
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
couple
yeah.
of times where they retcon a few things in, but the main parts of the show, the characters that we really care about, have been around for so long, and like we're
Right.
waiting for their build up and what happens to them next.
yeah.
And
There's like
characters you
so
only
many.
see-
There's a lot of like legend or like just characters that have been introduced already that just aren't like there's a lot of
they're just sitting
threads
on the
that
back.
are there. Yeah,
and there's
just on
characters
the
you
back burner.
only hear about. Like
Yeah.
you only hear about them talk, like Dr. Vega, but you never see
Yeah,
them.
the Dr.
But the way
Vega
they
one.
build these people up, you like if it just leaves your mind wondering. Like that's the best part about the show is how it
Yeah.
introduces characters. It leaves so much suspense and
Yeah.
so much like room for like wonder, and then it really like delivers when it does show you the people, and then eventually you're like seeing like people you've only like talk about eventually start to like really become important characters, and it like feels so satisfying. Like there's nothing
Yeah.
more satisfying because I've actually
That's true.
watched the show for almost 15 years. Like nothing more satisfying than what's happening right now, seeing like.
And I've
all
been
these
watching the
characters
show
they've
for
been
like
talking
2
about.
years.
But still, like, you know how many people I've recommended the show to? Like, so many people, and only like maybe 1 out of 20 will actually watch. And I probably only put on like 3 to 4 people because it's such a commitment. Like,
Yeah, it is such a
and I'm like, you don't have to rush. If you plan on living another, I don't know, 60 years, just put it on once a week. Like, I don't know why there's zero rush. Like, you can just, it's a show that's so solid. You can just play it anytime you have the time. And I feel like you don't have to rush through it, and you don't have to worry about the hype of like the theories and all that. Like, you can do all that later.
It's and also, well, I mean, I also think it's like a chill enough show where it's like you don't need to.
You can read it too.
Yeah, you can
The
just
manga's
start out.
fire.
You can just start out with it, and like, and then as you get in, it's gonna be like because I think the first few seasons are just like it starts off like
Like
it
a
really
kid's
starts
show.
off just
It's like a kid's show in the beginning.
yeah, it starts
grows
off
with
just
you.
like oh, we're really just in some like
pirate adventure.
yeah, just like we're just
bandits.
going around in the ocean, just
Yeah.
causing trouble, and then later it's like oh, we're gonna go to that next level,
Mm-hmm.
They spend a long time building up just the Grand Line, so it's like by the time you actually get to the Grand Line, it feels like wow.
But the beginning, like the first 200 episodes, are so like filled with the best vibes. I feel like
Yeah.
it just has this like pure, childlike friendship building. Like he's just going around
Yeah.
meeting people, trying to add to his crew. Like he starts with nothing.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. He's just
making
literally
true friends.
he
and
starts
you get to see
out
their
on
life.
just like just drifting in a barrel.
Yeah, it's so good.
And then it's just like it's just a few of them like it's a while before they even get
it's
a proper,
some of the best thing. I don't know how anyone
like they don't even get a good proper show until Usopp.
I mean,
Right? So it's like that whole time they just were in like these little barges, like in little rafts.
yeah, the Going Merry, right?
The Going Merry. And then by the time like they Arlong Park, I think it felt like a real
Like a real crew.
crew and like yeah, and then and like right, they run into like Dracula, Mihawk, and like the Baratier part, you know.
But like I said, I feel like one of the best, another part of the best part about that show is like some shows have done this before, but this show is so old and so long running, like it really grows with you. Like I've
Yeah.
experienced it, like starting off feeling like it's a kid show, like very much friendly, has like very heartwarming, friendly friendship vibes, and like the story is kind of simple and like pirate adventure type stuff, and then it kind of matures with you. It becomes like like when I was adolescent, it becomes like an adolescent show. It kind of starts, even the character starts like kind of looking different, and like by the time now, the show has very adult themes. Like it gets bloody as hell. Some of the characters are drawn crazy. Like let's be honest here. Like
Yeah. He has fun. It's like just imagination going wow.
some of those, there are a lot of well endowed characters, and they've really blossomed in ways I've never thought was possible. It's a little crazy, bro. Like, was it Oda? Please,
Oda.
explain to me why. It's so crazy to me. But yeah, no, the show matures. I feel like that's a rare experience to have. It feels like it's growing with you, and it understands. I guess it understands to some extent the life of somebody, of like an outsider kid, because I know that a lot of people didn't get into One Piece because they were distracted by other things. Like they were too busy doing maybe real world stuff. But Oda understands what it's like to just be kind of like wanting to be in your own world and have that world kind of be formed in a way that's suitable and satisfying to those kinds of people. I feel like I'm not saying One Piece is real, but One Piece, I feel like definitely caters to those kinds of people the most. That's why it's so
Yeah.
rich.
It appeals to the rich the most.
When we do you have a timestamp on there?
Well, no, not really, but
That's fine. I've been holding the time right here.
oh, word.
But plus 10 minutes because I started 10 minutes after.
Yeah, it's like it just
But
tells
when
you
the-
the number of like it's like 1,214.
Oh yeah, but when the thing cut us out, are we gonna have to like? Is it gonna be harder to edit it? Do you think?
No. I mean, we'll be
Is it
fine.
gonna be connected?
Yeah, it'll be connected and it'll be like it.
Oh yeah, because it's just continuing on the
Yeah.
same path. Okay. I don't want to have a disaster after.
We might need
after
to
we
make
capture
sure that
this
it like
gold.
that the audio is still synced like before
Yeah.
and after, but that would be it.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what I said about One Piece. This the vibe, the childlike vibes, feel like no matter how old I am, I'm gonna always be able to like re-experience my youth through that show. Same thing with like Avatar: The Last Airbender. Like a lot of people agree with me that it's like a show that I will always rewatch because it always reminds me and instills in me those values that I grew up with, that I kind of like relearned over and over again. Even though like you feel like you got it first time around, and it might seem like simplistic from a kid show, but the more and more I rewatch, the more I learn from that show in a big way. Like those writers, I don't know who put them onto that, and it's just some two white dudes. Like I don't know how they got crazy. They were flexing.
I
on
don't
that.
know. I feel like One Piece is like a head and shoulders above Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I mean, it is. I mean, I'm not.
But,
One
like-
Piece is my favorite by far, but
I would say like Avatar
fire.
is good. But the thing that I rewatched Avatar like during the pandemic, and one thing that shocked me was I forgot how like short it is.
Yeah,
Like
3
that show's
seasons.
short, and they're like
Short
not
and
even
sweet.
long.
Short
They're
and
short.
sweet.
It's short and sweet. It's really well done.
It's a complete package. Like,
But
you don't really need anything
no,
else.
you don't.
They're trying to chase the dream still. You see them. They're trying to make more.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad.
But
they're
no, I
trying,
think that
but it is
chasing
what
the
it
dream is what I like about One Piece, is because I feel like that's what I think is like from being a child, like being now, like being an adult. Like the number one thing is like, okay, I feel like when somewhere along the line of growing up, I kind of lost track of my dreams, you know, and I wasn't like trying to live for my dreams and what I wanted in life. I was trying to live for like what I thought others wanted me to be, you know, and like
Yeah.
trying to fit in, trying to be, you know, trying to be just another regular fella.
Yeah, money.
Yeah, and like it's kind of funny to look back on it because I remember being a kid and just doing whatever I want and just being like totally free. And then I also kind of see it like a certain point in puberty, it's just like I want to fit in, you know.
Yes, that's like a crippling disease.
Yeah, and it's like it took me a while to like shake that off, like as an adult. Like, no, I'm not gonna, like, or even like I feel like I always have to kind of check myself from doing it too. Like, don't like hold yourself back. Don't be like, oh, if I'm gonna follow my dream, if I can get to this. Like,
Yeah,
I feel like you gotta have like the. That's
Yep.
what I like about One Piece is that I feel like there's the, like the Luffy, like the characteristic of Luffy to be like, I'm gonna become king of the pirates, no matter what, and I'm gonna say it even if you laugh at me, because that's my dream. I think, that's like that's the dream I think that is important, or like that quality is like something everyone could have. It's like, I'm gonna be the best artist no matter what, and no one's gonna stop me. And even
you
if
say
you
it
laugh
even
at
in
me,
the worst times.
yeah,
Say it even louder, probably.
yeah,
Luffy would.
right.
Yeah.
And I think that that's like a beautiful thing. We're gonna have the best podcast of all time.
Oh damn!
I don't care who laughs at it.
Well, I feel like they will laugh at it, so it's gonna be great. It's gonna be.
But it is a comedy podcast, so I hope
That's
we
perfect.
get them laughing.
That's all you want. Let's hope they don't shut it
It's
off.
supposed to be a comedy podcast. Well, it's kind of a everything podcast. It's like history, art, and cracking some
But
jokes.
I feel like comedy is a good, solid, kind of what's the word? Like a good umbrella term. Because I don't want to come at anything with any level of seriousness. I don't want people to be like, clipping me and trying to get me to be something.
Well,
I'm not.
we're not.
Because
This is
supposed
definitely
to be
not like
fun.
political or
and we do have political takes because we're allowed to have. We're in America.
We're do whatever we want.
As long as we're
But we're
doing
not.
from that,
We're not saying that we're like when we have political takes. We're not saying like. We're not like.
we're not experts.
We're not like.
I'm not expert.
We really know
I have
everything.
expertise in certain places, but I know my places, and I'm not gonna just start talking like I'm a scientist or.
I feel like we are who we are, and we're just gonna be talking as that. We're not
the art stuff. I can talk more.
More. We're artists, so we know what we're talking about with the art.
Yeah, and I have a deep passion, so that allows me to like even when I'm talking out of my ass, it kind of.
We're some of the best artists in Colorado right here, even right now.
Oh.
And if you're talking about when we're gonna be, it's like some of the best of all time.
Oh, he's really speaking into existence. He's really following the Luffy model. But it's true.
It's true.
I mean, honestly, like Luffy, anytime somebody wants to like spoil to him what the One Piece could be about, he shuts them up. Like there was one time where Usopp asked Rayleigh, like, "Can you tell us if it's real, if it even exists?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Don't say shit," because honestly, I don't care if it's like you get to where you're gonna get to because. You have some kind of like fanciful imagination. It's like a meager satisfaction thing. Like I just want to have this for possession's sake. It's really just about like following that journey and seeing how you unfold and all the unique things that happen along the way. Because no matter how I visualize my come up, it never feels like my kind of my own delusional ways of thinking about it really resembles anywhere near to the way life kind of shows me how you can kind of blossom in certain ways. And this has happened since like. Not just like in recent times, but always like things come to you in a way that feels like it's a natural development and you're actually inputting and making sure you're really growing. And then that way you develop actual like potency in what you do, what your work is. And it becomes much more meaningful than just like you schemed your way through it and you did some kind of weird mind trick on yourself.
I was just, just the other day I was talking to our homie Zach. Shout out to Zach.
Shout out Zach.
But I was talking about kind of like, I feel like the thing that biggest hurdle I had like with art, like to get better is, because like right now I feel like I'm just always learning better and I'm always getting better at like the different techniques and the proportions and this thing and that thing. But when I first was like drawing, like when I stopped drawing like in high school kind of, because I was like getting like kind of, I would stand out for it and as I didn't have like the confidence to really do that. But then I started doing it again, like when I was in New Zealand.
You just stand up for being bad?
Huh?
Were you not a good drawing?
No, I was good. I was just like all of my, I was pretty good, but like I wasn't, but all of my friends were like, they were like, oh, you draw? That's weird. Like,
I see.
You know what I mean? So I was just trying to fit in and like maybe they weren't the best of friends. And I wasn't, like maybe if I had like the more confidence to be like, oh no, this is really what I want to do. But at the time I was like a very traumatized and very like insecure person. So I was like, what? I guess I'll quit.
I didn't listen to those kids.
Yeah, no, so I did.
Shut your ass. I'm gonna draw
and I was like trying to fit in, like I was trying to be like, I was just trying to like fit in and be like good at math and stuff, and it's just so unnatural. It never worked. Never. I think the worst thing you could ever try to do with your life is try to fit in.
And try to be good at math.
No, like you either are or you aren't. Like my family's
you're
like
in it or not, you're out. I'm out. I'm not really into math. I'm sorry.
Out. I love math, but just because like it's my dad's a mathematician. He's like it reminds me of him, but like it doesn't like
the geometry I really like.
Like I like numbers. Like I'm happy they exist. I'm happy math exists. Like I don't hate on
Yeah, no,
math.
I respect mathematicians and people who really
I feel like math and
understand
art
in that
probably
way.
have the most in common out of everything.
Yeah, I mean the language. It's
As
a
far
whole
as things
language.
that don't have nothing in common
It's a whole
with each
language.
other.
Math is a language, honestly. Like it really is some
Yeah.
way to understand. You can understand how universe works through math, and you can understand how communication and just even data is transmitted from one to the other. Like everything breaks down to such a mathematical component that I don't get, but I can see that it's a whole language and it's like learning anything, like
Right.
learning the Sumerian cuneiforms.
Cuneiform.
Cuneiforms. Oh shoot! Look who it is. He just came back from his bike hike.
Oh.
What up? How was the bike ride?
Fucking good.
Is it hot out there?
Yeah, it's pretty hot. You guys trying to go to the creek?
Oh, well, we're recording a podcast.
After
right
the podcast, we
It's
should.
hot.
We
now. Yeah,
should.
but we're gonna have to also drop. I have to go to Denver.
Oh, we have to go to Denver. Nice.
Anyways, as we were talking about, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, I was talking about
One
like.
Piece?
Oh no, I was talking about the thing of like the thing I think I had to get over the biggest hurdle with art is
Oh yeah.
I think that like, and I've noticed I think a lot of other people fall into this too, but it's like when you first start kind of doing it a lot, you can easily find like kind of ways of stylizing like what you're good at and hiding what you're bad at with like with the techniques, so that way you kind of always stay in like that safe space and it's kind of like a little bubble. I
Yeah.
think. And so I think that getting out of that bubble and just trying new stuff is the number one most important thing, like to getting better.
Definitely. And yo, his nipples always end up on
It's like, yeah, for sure.
This is the second time. Man. That's so funny.
It's
Yeah,
the-
it's like a
every
special-
episode
it's like a
it happens
regular
at least
now.
once.
I feel like
Young Devin, D Unit coming into frame.
I feel like the word I said earlier about how like life progresses you like naturally. Like I remember doing certain things not for the sake of becoming an oil painter today, but I would just like I love to draw cartoon characters because I thought they were goofy looking, and I would just meticulously, repeatedly draw them. And I was just doing that, not thinking that it was gonna be a skill that I would accidentally develop to help me learn this other skill, which I also learned kind of accidentally. So like through this haphazard way of learning, I kind of stumbled upon like a real passion. And then now that I have an idea of what I want and I can grasp it a bit, I can infuse it with like more of a structure, like where I want to be like more methodical about how I approach a piece of art. Like I can see it like not just like this random thing I just blah into from nowhere into the canvas, but I literally plan it out. It's kind of like a movie or a play. And you have many components and parts.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'll do like photography there. I'll draw sources from here and there, and like I'll combine different. And I'll do digital renditions. And now I can mess around with AI. Like it gives me it almost feels like I have my own in-house Disney studio where I can like or my own little Da Vinci, like you know what I'm saying? Like
It's
like a little
interesting, yeah.
Fancy
To
factory.
me, it's more like I feel like it's
fancy factory. not
I feel like I'm like
skateboarding guy.
almost assembling like a Lego set. Like the second I have
Yeah.
like the idea of the piece, like and I know how big it is and like what proportion. Like it's like okay, like figuring out the dynamics of the like the layout, and then it's like okay, exactly how am I gonna like layer these paints and like how
Yeah.
am I gonna go through it? Like this It's like it's almost like I'm assembling something and just like putting apart the pieces, even though it's
That's
like,
the best feeling.
Yeah.
Honestly, like taking my time and really looking at the little
and then
details.
yeah, having fun. I think it's
It's
like
so much fun. That's
just have fun.
That's the best part. Like I want to take my time. Like I'm not really doing this for the sake of like making it my. I'm gonna survive no matter what, doing what I gotta do.
Right.
But like I want this to be something I genuinely enjoy. So I always make it so that I'm always taking my time, always allowing ideas to like let the ideas grow. Because I know
Yeah.
my subconscious works in a way where I can't immediately have answers, but if it's in the background, it kind of spits out some solutions over time, and it gives me the way to like really be creative without being bondaged by like certain outcomes. So I'm not a fan,
Major.
so I'm not a fan of like commissions or like, oh, you got to do this or that for
Yeah.
this person, which just makes you money. Which is
I
good.
think that there's some level of
But
it
I
that
like to just do
can
my
be good,
thing.
but like I don't like I like portraits because I just like people's faces. But like
Yeah.
if somebody's like, oh, or I don't know. I'm just like definitely not. I think that like that's not really what excites me that much.
No,
though.
my
It's
passion
like
goes out.
that's just like that to me. That's more like a drill or like
Yeah,
an exercise.
It's a job.
But like what is like really exciting, I think, is when it's just like, okay, I can do whatever I want,
Like really
and I need to
speaking
come up with
yourself.
something.
And you speak your own language. You want to express something unique. And I don't know, my art, like every single thing I paint, I see it as it's connected. Like this world is connected to that world in my head. And one day, like I'm gonna build more bridges in my like in a sense where you can see the visual connection between every piece, even if it seems far fetched out there. Because I want to approach oil painting kind of like with the world building concept. So like, I have my characters little by little. I can use those characters, put them in settings, and then little by little, the settings can grow, and people can make stories out of that. Like it'll just kind of open the doorway for many different stories to be told based on images. It doesn't even have to be written down in any way. But
what I like about
it a
like art is like
cohesiveness.
when I'm painting, I kind of just imagine like somebody seeing like being in the same room as it, you know, and just like that like affecting their imagination. Like
yeah, like where does it?
What is this?
Kind of like One
Where
Piece
does
with
this
the
come from?
giants. Like, fill it out. Like give it that room for people.
like just
what
give
is
you
that?
something to
like a different
kind
world.
of let people play in their heads and
Like an
think and
alternate
stuff.
dimension.
Just relax.
Bring them in to your
Yeah.
world in a way. I mean,
Do
that's
that
what,
interdimensional
that's all I do.
stuff.
There's so many great artists that bring me into this crazy. Like, all I want is just to participate in that. Because it's already been done. Like, there's so many great artists. Too many good artists. Too many rich
True.
worlds. And we can't get enough. So just make more art.
Yeah, go farther. I feel like there's so much though. Like everyone always says about art, like everything's already been done. But like I feel kind of the opposite. Like I think that we have yet to even
They don't know
understand what art.
They don't know what
means.
infinity can possibly
Like
be. You know?
I think it's like
It's
we're
infinite
like
potential.
barely even scratching
we're
the
infinite.
surface.
We're infinite.
Like
Potential
we're like
there.
if
Right.
this was it, if this was all art, was this water bottle, we would barely even have the lid off.
And whatever replacements they come out for art is basically art again. You know what I'm saying? You
What do
can't
you
replace it. Like they'll come out with something new that's like, oh, you took the heart and soul out of art. This is not art anymore. But like the sneaky thing about art is it'll come to you in any format it wants.
Yeah, art is
because this is how you
art
relate
is like
to
the
it, you know?
action. Yeah,
Yeah, it really has no matter who or what.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you're pooping it out. If it has a way to really speak to people in a deep way and it makes them somewhat
anything has the
contemplate a truth
potential
in the
to
world.
be art.
If it has you contemplate any types of truth because of it, you feel deep connection. It doesn't really matter how it's come to us. It doesn't matter if it's made by chickens and robots. It doesn't matter.
Some of the best artists I know have been chickens.
But yeah, so
Robot chicken.
and then what you get from combining different things, like it's just everything is infinitely unbounded. You
And I
can't
think it
cap
also like it's amazing how it can build on itself. Like we have like hundreds of years of art to inspire us,
Yep.
and like so many like hundreds and thousands of cultures, right, in distinct styles that are like
So
wow,
many.
that's
It's
just
too
like
rich.
it just like
It's
even the
filthy
feeling
rich.
of looking at it is like wow, like that's giving me something.
Human culture is like filthy rich. So
Yeah.
like, if there's aliens like out there, do they have this level of wealth in their culture? Are they like bustling with art, music, language? Like, are they expressing at this level? Like, cause how how crazy would it be to see like a whole alien culture, not just like what they look like,
Yeah,
but,
like their
what
fashion.
they wore, what they listen to, how they poop, how they have sex, how they drive around, if they have sports, if they got like celebrities, if they do
Yeah,
like,
like
game
how do they
shows.
do like the social structure? Like, do
Is
you
it
think it would be the
completely
same?
different? Like,
Or
what-
totally different.
and-
That's the craziest thing to me to think about is like imagine it's just like they're similar in a way, like they're beings, you know, of flesh and blood. But what if they just, you know, are totally on a different path? Like they're like
But it's
like they
equally
have
as rich.
something, yeah,
But it's
and
equally
they have
rich.
like this whole thing. They'll be like,
Yeah.
prepper? You don't know what prepper is?
I mean,
What's wrong with you?
That's just
Your
language.
culture doesn't have
What
prepper?
are you talking about?
What if that's what
I
the
mean,
aliens
I'm sure we
said?
can't fathom just the level of richness, but also difference. So I just gotta see it.
I feel like it's gonna be like they're gonna be
If it is
obsessed.
as
They're gonna
close
be
to
like
us.
obsessed with something that we won't even have a way of conceptualizing.
But we're obsessed with things too. Like, what if
Yeah,
they
yeah.
see us as like, what the hell's going
no,
on?
they'll
here?
see us as like the same way we see them. They'll be like, what the
I don't know.
the
like,
H is
it's
these
crazy,
weird
like,
fellas?
how rich is the universe? Really?
Be like
How many-
podcasting. Why would you do that?
if you're just reflecting from inner, like if you just extrapolate from Earth and see how rich human culture and Earth culture is, the potential richness of the universe, if we're not alone, is
Right.
unimaginable. It's like filthy rich. It's
But
like
the thing I feel
Bezos
like
times
about,
a trillion. That's crazy. Like, because all I can say about humanity and Earth is like, it's wild how much you can learn and how much you can spend eternity learning here. And then it's not just useless information. It's deep levels of knowledge that can expand your mind, create new worlds, create new possibilities for the future.
Right.
And seeing that elsewhere and potentially being all over the place, forget about it. Like, we're too blessed.
but do you think
That's too much blessings. I hope
don't-
nobody's hostile though. 'Cause
I don't
Earth is
think that it's
also
even
hostile.
possible for aliens to get to us. Like I don't think so.
And they're too far away.
Yeah.
We're all too spaced out. You know,
There's too much space in space.
can we talk about this theory I have from this book
All right, let's talk about it.
because there's a Fermi paradox. We're like, why does it seem like we're alone in the universe?
Right.
I don't know like the full like concrete detail or history of it, but I know it loosely. So this book that kind of explores this idea is the three body problem by Shishin Le. It's like I've kind of been hyped recently, so I've been kind of getting into it. And there's an idea, and I'm still kind of trying to understand it, but everybody in the world is kind of like spaced super far from each other, so it almost gives the universe this sense of emptiness. But the reality is the universe originally started with everybody being super close to each other, but there was so much hostility and fighting through kind of like universal breakdowns. Everything became super far apart, leading to more kind of stability and peace because people couldn't be too close to each other without like wiping each other out.
It's like it's like how in kindergarten everyone gets like their own desk. You know,
Exactly, you get far out and
because you
then
need the
you build your own
kindergartners
world
to
from there. And the
sit by
book,
themselves, sit quietly,
to give you a quick
sit quietly and learn.
to give you a quick summation, the coolest idea in the book is the reason the universe is so empty and silent is there's such anytime two civilizations meet in the universe, it becomes immediately hostile because there's this kind of like chain of kind of like distrust that happens between societies. And one of the coolest things about it is like in the book, if one society discovers you, you're immediately finished because they can either finish you themselves or they can reveal your location to the universe,
Right.
which makes you an immediate target because everybody is super hostile towards each other, but they don't know what level of evolution they are at. So certain groups are super advanced that they'll like obliterate you in an instant. So the way you're kind of targeted, this is weaponized in the world where people threaten each other with exposing their location so that eventually you in an instant get decimated. So Earth is like had this hanging over their head in in the first book, and they were doing everything they can to not get revealed because that was like a death sentence. So it leaves the universe kind of like a creepy, dark forest, as they call it, like a place where everybody has to quietly grow. Be quiet and grow. And it gets,
It's like a library.
And then get powerful enough that nobody can touch you. And I don't know what happens near the end, but hopefully, like society, I feel like the only way you can solve that problem is you have somebody evolve to a point where they can get past kind of all this.
Well, I kind of feel like
and
that's
create bridges. You know what I'm saying?
That's-
Between worlds.
I don't like. I feel like there's got to be something else also other than just like
Immediate hostility.
just like
death.
just like we're just in a battle.
dark
Like
forest.
what there's got to be some other stuff there, like in the universe.
But that's like.
But I
cool,
don't
interesting
really
theory.
believe. No, I think that's an interesting theory. But I just definitely don't think that aliens. I think the only way aliens can get here is if they're like interdimensional beings, like.
Well, they kind of are in the book because in the book, like the way they travel is not physically traveling. They have to fold space because certain beings evolve so much that they basically can manipulate space and time. And that's another scary aspect of the book is like we think we're evolved and advanced, but like we barely know how to move from here to the moon. So we kind of are almost like a crippled planet, you know. You can't even get from point A to point B on a level, like on a galactic level, nor on a solar system level.
But where do you think God like plays into this?
Well, in the book, I don't know if it's really expounded. I feel like all that is super above us, and I don't know, like the universe in that level just feels so ginormous that God is just at that point incomprehensible. It's huge,
Right.
just like in the belly of the beast. Don't know what the head is like,
In the belly.
but you keep moving forward, and humanity persevered in the book. Like the spirit of humanity is to keep moving forward. So I feel like it's really important we all read these books. Not because we are gonna have alien invasion, but we might. And it's good to understand how you're gonna approach the situation, because if it's true, it becomes reality. We're not saying they're gonna be hostile or not, but if it becomes a reality, you want to kind of approach it with a level of like real grace, really represent
Right.
humanity in
Yeah.
a way that's like, yeah, we did some shit. We all been through some shit, and the world has been ruined for it in
Yeah.
one way or the other. But right now, I will stand and represent Earth, because I don't know about you. I would die for Earth. Would you?
Yeah, definitely.
I would die for Earth. True.
Unless this is against Mars, then I'd have to choose.
Ew. Hell no.
You don't like
Ugh.
Mars?
No, not even close.
Mars?
Not even close. It's Earth.
Why not?
It's Earth, Mercury, Jupiter.
Earth, Mercury, Jupiter. What about Saturn, Neptune, Uranus?
Those are cool. Those are cool.
You don't like Uranus?
I like Uranus a lot. Anyway, I actually do like the planet Uranus, and I also like the planet Neptune. And I'm going to say it. I also like the planet Pluto.
All right. Jerry.
I said it. And Nibiru. Don't forget about Nibiru, planet
What about
X.
Planet X? Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
There's
We
so many
just turned
good
into a whole
planets.
different kind of podcast. I don't believe in that. I swear to God. I don't believe in
Yeah,
Nibiru.
Pluto's not a planet. It never has been. Idiots.
Yeah. Oh, I think we reached the hour mark,
Okay.
according to my clock.
Well, do we have
anything else?
any closing thoughts?
I mean, yeah, planets are cool. I remember when I grew up talking about One Piece, how like it leaves you to the imagination in big ways. When I first saw the picture of Jupiter, I just saw like a small image when I was super young. I had no idea what that shit was. But the level of I filled in the gaps in crazy ways. 'Cause I thought it was a place that was like a disc with just like swirl of like creamy foam
Ooh.
and ice cream. And
that sounds so good.
Cocoa mocha shit, but like at a level that you can walk around and like kind of expose yourself to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, I realized it was just a giant fart. Anyway, that's our time, folks.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. Sweet Potato Pirate Podcast
Let's pray this comes out coherently.
out. Oh, I think it'll be fucking beautiful.
Say bye, Major.
Meow.
Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, peace.